Hi everyone, I'm Juni, and today I'm going to talk about this article titled "The Sky is Not Falling: Navigating the Smartphone Parent Ticket." It was published in the World Intellectual Property Organization (WIPO) in the WIPO magazine in February 2013, and it was written by Jeffrey Lewis and Ryan Mott. So this article is basically saying that the current smartphone war will kind of eventually fade away because the sky is not falling, as the title mentions. So why is it saying so? It kind of likens this situation to another case which has happened in the mid 1800s. Going on, this article constantly talks about patent ticket and what exactly is a patent ticket. A patent ticket is basically where each company owns like some patents which forms a part of the whole product. And like for example, our phone, the smartphone, some companies are saying that they own like this design that they kind of patented long ago, and another company is saying that they own a different part of this product. And so who exactly owns this product? If everyone is trying to say that they own a part of it, even though it's manufactured by one of the company. So patent ticket is basically when every company is doing this and they are just suing one another that due to the patents that they all hold, and it leads to kind of a bottleneck. The article kind of moves on to talk about a similar situation which happened in around the mid 1850s, and then there was the product, the sewing machine, which was at that point in time a revolutionary idea. I mean, previously they did not have sewing machines; they only have industrial size machines which allow them to mass manufacture clothes, but not on a personal level at the home. However, there was several other guys who came out with the idea for the parts of the whole sewing machine, and only this guy who managed to produce this product to kind of sum up all the patents together. And that was the situation. And when they finally manufactured a product, the other patent owners, they were saying that this was not an original idea, you just piece it all up together. So where are you going to get all the money from all the sales and everything? Where do we come into play? And that's when they started to sue one another to kind of like grab a bit of the profits. And there was a standstill regarding this situation until finally an attorney called Orlando Porter finally came out with this idea of pooling all the patent rights together and then licensing them as part of a commercial trust, which is a very, very good idea, I would say, because it kind of allowed all other contenders who want to manufacture their own sewing machines. They actually get to license it, purchase a license, and thus they can manufacture more sewing machines, and in general it leads to a larger supply for the consumers. And what does this mean? It means that clothes and everything can be designed much faster, and because like all the homeowners, the tailors, the fashion designers back home, they can just do it at home at a much faster time. Previously they might have to hand sew themselves the clothes, which now they can just use the machine, and it saves a load of time. Like new designs that they take weeks or months to come out with, they can just draw it on the drawing board and then just produce it very quickly. And this way they can kind of get a gauge of how the consumers kind of think about it before they start to submit these designs to the industries and mass produce it. So coming back to the smartphone thing, if such a thing was to happen to the smartphone, it can definitely lead to a lot of good news for the consumers, which is us. So it's definitely a very exciting idea, and it's very interesting to be able to live in the middle of this patent war, because it involves billions of dollars, and it's definitely exciting to see what will happen. But I do hope that one day probably the smartphone corporations, they will start thinking of some of the social impacts of the patent situation. Rather than just all for profits like it is currently. It's spending so much money in terms of suing one another, but instead we could channel money into researching probably like how the social life is affected by actually owning these smartphones. Because nowadays, like kids, they are already exposed to smartphones right when they are very, very young. And it's not exactly very healthy. Because I mean, for example, take me for example, I used to have a phone when I was about 8 years old. And before that, nobody really knew like how to control the usage of the phone. And so schools always banned it. And nowadays they just became more and more liberal and allow everyone to own the phone. But it also leads to addiction, in not drug addiction, but like addiction of technological addiction. Like for example, the kids, they just spend more time on the phone, on the smartphone, playing games, instead of actually socializing with the other classmates, like in the playground and everywhere else. So there's definitely some social impacts. But if such fast advancement of technology, the companies kind of might have neglected like some of the ways that actually the smartphones, everything could be designed to mitigate these kind of social impacts. And thus, I do hope that in the next decade or so, they might come to a resolution that, I mean, with the patent war, probably it will be resolved by then, and they can start thinking about other things that improves social life and everything. Mm. So we'll just see how it goes. That's all. See you.